Welcome back to the Retronomipod, a nostalgia and pop culture podcast where we discuss things from our past, present, and future. And of course, this week I do not have a rambling to tell you somewhere across this internet. We are together here now at this moment in time, internet time, which is a different time than we think about. As always, I am your host, Toby, and across this internet time world, damn. Rick, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Not
Yeah,
much.
I lost it, man. I'm sorry.
I
What was
mean,
up?
normally we're coming from like Mountain Standard Time, but since we do this over the internets and it lives on forever, it's like Internet Standard Time.
Yeah, but there actually is like an internet time. There's a time. There's a time that the internet runs off of. Like I don't know. It's a weird thing. Okay, there's X Files theme song behind this right now. Or
Is
no,
that
that was
true?
a yes, 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 yes.
That's wild.
Internet time
The current Internet time is
gives me
eight 8:35 or whatever.
time. Guess what? The website name for time is like actual time. Like wanted to know the time.
Tell me the time. Dot
Nope.
com.
Nope. One
Because I
more.
know it's not. I know it's not time.com because I'm pretty sure that's taken by the magazine folks.
Time dot is. Yo.
Oof.
I
That
mean,
time dot is.
yes. Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
That's not bad.
It's
Um,
pretty good.
weird question of the week. We'll get into this thing. Would a vegan survive easier in a zombie apocalypse?
No. Well, no. Like, wait. What are we talking? How are we like the vegan's not a zombie yet, right?
Right. Like a vegan person surviving in a
No.
zombie apocalypse.
No. No, I don't. I don't because like no. No.
You don't think because they're already surviving off of berries and grain and alternate,
Look, during a
proteins?
zombie apocalypse, you know, from what we know of zombies, they're not going after the animals for the most part. Like, I
That's
think
fair.
the animals will thrive
Hmm.
in a weird way. Like, I don't think anybody else. I mean, they have a better chance than like the fat McDonald's eating people, that are walking around to like 400 pounds. But like, short of some like MMA jujitsu motherfuckers, I beat up most of the vegans. Like, if we really got down to it,
What are you talking
you
about?
know.
A strong breeze will beat up most vegans.
Yeah, but then some of them are sneakily, triple black belts.
Oh,
So we're
for
having
sure.
a real like look for the most part. I don't know. See, I'm about to put a lot of like preconceived notions on vegans that I'm not 100% on, and I
I
already feel
know.
bad about saying it. Do I think vegans would survive easier in a zombie apocalypse? No, because I think I don't know, man. This is a loaded question because once you
This is
got past
loaded.
the
This
initial
is loaded.
push of like these people got away and then the mass, I don't think anyone survives in a zombie apocalypse.
Not the way that they would want to. I think it's like
Yeah,
uh
there's not like a biodome
yeah.
secured for. You know what? Maybe there is. I don't know. Some of these bunkers, man. I saw a bunker the other day that was 30 stories deep and it could survive six people. They were condos. You could buy the condo for like 1.4 million. And you had
Sure.
one floor of this bunker. And but you survive for what?
A
We'll
year.
give them a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
On some good shit if you've done it. And I don't know. I don't think you could stay vegan in a zombie apocalypse. I think that's the real question. Is if you hit a zombie apocalypse, would vegans just resort to surviving or would they stick to their morals even at the end of the world and just be like, "No. You know, are zombies people too? That is the real question.
Hmm. I oof. Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
don't like that's a tough one because it's all comes down. I think it comes down to basically skills. Like, do you have the skills to forage for the food that you're gonna need if you're a vegan? Do you have the skills to hunt if you're a carnivore or whatever, herbivore, omnivore, whatever? Like, it always comes back down to the skills. It's not like I don't think it matters if you're a person who eats everything or a person who's meat guy or vegan guy or pescatarian or whatever, all these different things. I think it just comes down to like, could you be able
Yeah,
to gather what you need to survive?
yeah, at the
Whether
end of the
that's
day, could you survive if given the
yeah,
opportunity to do so? Let me
and I
ask you
think
another
the
word. Can I tag on to
answer
this?
is no. Oh
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got asked by a buddy of mine this week if it was the end of the world, would you eat to survive? Like,
Oh yeah.
okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Like
He was like, I don't think I could. I was like, before you could finish the sentence, I was like, yes, of course. Like I would eat Samantha or, you know, fucking Paul. Like, and especially if it was like voluntary, it's like, bro, I just don't want to live anymore. I'm bashing Paul's head in with a rock and I'm eating his thigh.
I think the key is just to make it piece it out so that way it
Piece it
doesn't
out.
look
It's not like
human.
you're roasting a pig and it just shoved the stick up a human ass, you know?
Get rid of the head, hands, and feet, and then just separate the bits so that way it doesn't look like a human being. And then there
Just
you go.
let one
You're
of the
just
sociopaths in your group do it, and you just call me when it's ready. Because once I start smelling barbecue, because I imagine we smell like barbecue, like I got a good fat layer on me, you
yeah,
know,
man.
with some I got some muscle underneath. It just doesn't show very well. Like I bet I smell fucking
Oh
good.
man.
You could make butter out of me and then coat me with dead butter.
We're the
It would,
guys that the rest of the party's gonna be eyeballing us like, motherfucker, you need to pass
yeah,
away in your sleep because we're gonna kill you.
break your ankle. All
You're
right,
gonna
because it's the
you're gonna make
sacrifices.
some good jerky.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes me feel better, oddly. That's a weird thing to feel better about, but yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think I would. And it's like, no, yes, I would. I
If it's
would.
on like you're a week in and your food rations are running low and it's like
There's a zombie apocalypse outside, and
Gary just died. Like, remember when he passed away last night? We need food.
now, does your decision change if it's old person versus younger person? 81-year-old man dies.
No, because if they're dead, they're dead.
No, no,
Like,
no. But like the quality of said meat.
oh no, no, no.
Yeah,
It's
it
either
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's
age.
survival. Yeah.
It's either aged meat that's been nice and marbled through the year, or younger, like whatever, maybe a bit tougher. I don't know.
No,
I
younger. It's like
that makes
veal
it
versus
better. I
lamb. You
said that
know, like
backwards.
it's fucking better. I'm eating your child. The 8-year-old's not gonna survive. I'm eating him. He's gonna taste the best. I'm only gonna have one last good meal. God damn it, and it's Timmy.
Well, why do you keep looking at me?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool, cool.
I like it. Um, so as I've been starting to do, I'm trying to watch more and more movies and kind of talking about them more frequently. So I watched a couple. One's brand spanking new, In the Heights. It's on HBO Max right now. Directed by John M. Chu. He's done a bunch of stuff over the years. Probably most notably Crazy Rich Asians, which got a lot of
Okay,
like mainstream support. Basically, this is the Lin Manuel Miranda. Everybody knows that guy, the musical guy. This was his first like big stage play, so he went and adapted it for film, and that's essentially what this is. Um,
huh?
Basically follows this guy who's got a dream. He's a bodega owner in New York, and he wants to move back to Cuba, or move to Cuba. His family's from Cuba, and he wants to move there because he thinks it's better. And that's kind of it. And all the other people that surround him in their lives and how it's effective. It's very much a musical. They do the talk singing thing. So if you don't like that, that might be a strike for you. Lots of musical, lots of dancing, lots of like out of nowhere, blah,
But that
oh god.
Lynn was also one of those guys that can do no wrong right now. You know,
Yeah.
like everything that he touches in a part and as a part of. it's gold, especially in a theater world. Like if you're in a bit theatrical whatsoever, you know the
Yeah.
name and the quality of. I have no doubt that this is probably great.
It was fantastic. I mean, I like musicals, and I think it was very well done. The cast is phenomenal. Everybody holds it down, not knowing anything about the story. Really, we went into it blind, which is kind of a fun way to go into things without even seeing really a trailer for it. It was just like, oh, let's watch it. It's new. It's by Lin Manuel Miranda. He's great, and we watched it, and it was a surprisingly good hit. So if you like musicals, I highly recommend checking out In the Heights. Um, that's all I got on that one. The other one I watched is kind of an old cult classic that I been meaning to watch for years and years, and finally we saw it was on Amazon Prime, so we're like, fuck it, we're watching it. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension came out in 1984, the year of our Tiffany.
It's
Super sci. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm racking my brain, but it sounds familiar.
It's one of those ones because it pops up so frequently in pop culture and gets referenced to so frequently. I think that's why it is one of those like it is a cult hit for that aspect. But it's super weird. It's about adventurer, brain surgeon, rock musician Buckaroo Banzai and his crime-fighting team, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, must stop evil alien invaders from the eighth dimension who are planning to conquer Earth. The cast in this thing is insane. Peter Weller, aka RoboCop,
Oh, yeah,
John
okay.
John Lithgow, Ellen Barkin, Jeff Goldblum, Christopher Lloyd. Like that alone is like,
God damn.
holy crap. And like it wasn't a success in the box office at all, but like it went on to be this thing. And it is so batshit science fiction 80s crazy. Like the music is 80s, the wardrobe is 80s, everything's about it so 80s. And that's kind of what's so great about it. And I see why it is kind of a cult uh hit. Definitely check it out,
Huh.
especially if you like weird sci-fi stuff.
You're right though. The cast in it is just like, here you go, bangers, all
Yeah.
bangers.
And
Huh.
yeah, it's just it's very much like a pulp comic from like the 20s and 30s where it's just like your hero is a little bit of everything, he can do no wrong, and that's what's so
Just the
great about it.
name alone, like, makes it sound like it's a animation, that it's animated.
Oh,
But then
sure,
you
sure,
start
sure.
dropping all the names. I mean, given, I guess, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put that one on the.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime right now,
So if you
so go.
if you had to choose one right now, suggest to me. Do I watch In the
I,
Heights or do I watch Buckaroo Banzai?
I think just for the weirdness factor, I'd have to go Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, only because I'm more of a genre guy over kind of your straight pop
Like
culture
some like
kind of
Howard
fare.
the Duck type shit.
Kind of, yeah. Like there's
Okay,
moments where you're like,
okay,
what the fuck am I watching? It doesn't make sense, but I can't turn away.
okay. I'm
Adventures
interested.
of Buckaroo Banzai across the eighth dimension.
I am in.
Love
And the
it.
name, like anything with 13 words in the name of the
I
title,
know.
I'm 100% down for.
Walking down and seeing that up on the marquee, you're like, they had to use a lot of abbreviations in this.
Yeah. 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 They've
Fuck it,
got
it's
threes turn around for E's and shit. Like
exactly do what they can. Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai,
that's
check it
good. I'm
out.
good with that.
It's pretty great. So they just released another trailer for the sequel to the Halloween franchise, the reboot sequel that they're doing. That's basically erased all the history from Halloween 2 on from the old films, and basically is a direct continuation from the original series. They just released it, and it is exactly what it you want it to be for what it is. You know, basically, Jamie Lee Curtis reprises the role as Laurie Strode, and she's basically like, you know, they're escaping from the finale. They're like, "Let that bitch burn," and then they see the fire trucks, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" No, losing their mind, and so it kind of picks up from there, and it's exactly what you think that it's gonna be. Her freaking following to be like, "I'm gonna kill him. That's it. I'm gonna murder this
Yeah,
bitch.
we've got to figure this shit out. Like,
Like, he can't let this guy keep running around killing people. So that's
why
kind
is
of
no
her.
one doing anything about this?
Can't you see what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I saw they release, was it a trailer or just some pictures I saw today floating around?
I know. I only know about the trailer. They might have
The
released some set
trailer.
photos.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I think some new pictures and stuff came out, but I could be
yeah.
mistaken.
It's
I just saw this today and was like, "Ooh, right up our alley."
and it looks so freaking good too, man.
We
It's
Who's
like
directing it? Did you
oh,
say?
give me yeah, it's a guy by the name of David Gordon Green, which um he's done a lot of independent stuff, but he was kind of given the blessing by John Carpenter
Okay.
to take the reins. So that's why he was kind of like, yeah, you do your thing, man. I trust you can do what you need to. So, you know, he's also going to be the guy helming the Hellraiser TV series. So that dude's busy.
Huh. Yeah, no shit, right? And he's doing Hellraiser, the gender swapped Hellraiser, right?
Yeah. So
And
I mean,
doing what are you gonna don't fuck this up? And you got Jamie Lee Curtis.
yeah.
Don't don't fuck this up.
I mean, at this point, like he did such a good job with the previous film that it's like, all right, let's see what else you got. Let's see if you can do a sequel to the film because that's usually where these things fall apart is in their sequels. So,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
100%.
we get Anthony Michael Hall in it. I mean, it's gonna be great. So, look forward to that October
Anthony Michael
5th.
Hall, Dexter?
No, no, no. Anthony Michael Hall is like Breakfast
That's Michael
Club.
C. Hall, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're thinking
Okay.
Michael C. Hall. Anthony Michael Hall's like from oh,
Fuck.
the old Brat Pack, like 16 Candles, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
He always played
Like
the
some
nerdy
John
kid
Hughes
back.
shit.
Yeah, Weird Science. He was in
Damn,
that as
all
well.
of
So
John Hughes.
yeah, more or less. So yeah, that's kind of the cool news about this, and it's also like this isn't the end of it. I guess they're gonna have one more follow up film after that's supposed to come out next
So
year.
he's gonna direct a trilogy, pretty much.
So basically, a weird trilogy that's already going off of them.
So
Yeah,
and I'm sorry if you already said it, but release date on this?
October 15th of this year. So
Okay,
just in time
perfect.
for
So we're about to
as
get it.
any good slasher movie should be just before Halloween.
And I think we talked about that too, because that's the reason I ask. Like, they put out Halloween in fucking July because they do
Yeah,
shit like that, you know?
they
And
will.
I think we look back during the Halloween episodes last year. Damn.
Jeez.
Because like there's like two or three Friday the 13th that came out on like, you know, the 23rd or something, or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
27th, and
yeah.
you're like, you fucking assholes.
Yeah.
That's still fun.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
is
mad at
great.
it.
Another very cool thing that they're releasing is they're going to be doing another Transformers movie, which for some might be like, really?
I'm
Why?
stoked
But
about
the
this.
good news is that they've kind of gotten away from Michael Bay doing it, and they've got a new cat in the driver's seat. Stephen
Even
Capel Jr., something like that. But Transformers Rise of the Beasts, which for 90s fans suggests that they might be doing Beast Wars.
Oh, oh, that just made my hair stand up. We just talked
Yes.
about Beast Wars on the action figure episode,
We did.
and then we talked, I think, last episode with the damn SR-71 jet that if Optimus Prime just walked around with, a fucking Beast Wars as his pet. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's kind of cool, but just because we just talked about In the Heights, but Anthony Ramos is in this and known from In the Heights.
Hey.
Yeah,
Long time voice of Optimus Prime is definitely going to be back. Peter Cullen, which is cool.
perfect.
But one of the biggest castings that we just saw today, I believe, Ron Perlman, the one and only, is going to be doing the voice of Optimus Primal, which just seems like
Oh, dude, that's so exciting.
perfect.
I'm excited. I haven't been like shit. I'm real bad at watching all the Transformers movies because I kind of fell off after the third one. It's kind of like Fast and the Furious, man. Like, why don't we got nine
Oh,
of these? But look, they did it, man. They instead of just making another fucking Transformers movie, they're like, why don't we pull from Beast Wars? Like, we have
yeah,
the
yeah.
technology, we can do this, and it looks sick. And they're look, anything Ron Perlman does, I'm down for.
Fuck
Like,
yeah, dude.
put that man in more stuff. I know he's getting a little older now, but he's a badass. And
He's a bad.
to play Optimus Primal is that's pretty fucking cool.
It is. It makes me wonder how many characters they're gonna pull from it. But they did say like they're gonna do like a hybrid of like the warmth and the comedy of Bumblebee movie, and they're also gonna capture some of the action and that kind of stuff from the Michael Bay movie. So hopefully it's a nice combination of both for this. But I'm interested to see how they're gonna introduce um the beasts, if this is gonna
Yeah.
happen on another planet or if this is a prequel of sorts,
Or like what
or
size comparison?
yeah,
You know, like because you get Optimus Prime just tearing up fucking New York City with Megatron just fucking shit up.
yeah, yeah,
Now imagine that was a cheetah, you know, or a gorilla.
yeah.
And or do we have a King Kong situation on our hand? Or are they more like 15-foot tall animal that
Make them
change
a
into
little,
motorcycles?
maybe a little more reasonable, where maybe they're not so like, why
Yeah,
are they
because
big as the skyscraper? They should be the size, maybe bigger than an average animal, but like theirs about, so that way there's some like they can, because the whole thing of Transformers was they were robots in disguise, so you wouldn't know that that's a robot sitting next to you at a stoplight because it's just a semi truck. Whereas the newer movies have made it like, I don't know, once they transform, they're so big, it's like, what? What? It doesn't make sense.
yeah. Either way, I'm that this is cool. I
Yeah.
mean, to be excited for a Transformers movie. Yeah, Transformers Rise of the Beast scheduled to hit theaters on that's exciting. I'm bring
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
We're a year away from having a new
Yes.
Transformers, which I'll watch. I've seen them all, and they definitely kind of, man, they go all over the place. But like, I'm always down to be like, let's see what you can do with it. What are you going to introduce that's new? And the last one they introduced Grimlock, the transforming Tyrannosaurus Rex in it. So it was like, okay, all right, you've introduced the dinosaurs. Now you
Yeah.
now you kind of have to.
It's one of it's just one more thing on the Beast Wars thing and we'll
Oh,
get off of it. Um but one of the rare games for um one of the rare games for N64 is Transformers or Beast Wars Transmetals, another Blockbuster exclusive. Uh, and it one of the fucking only Blockbuster games I do not have, actually. So we're hunting that one down. Oh my gosh, what did she do? Is that a toy? Oh, poor Tiffany. Oh, shit. Somebody get the scissors. People are like, "Oh, why don't you want children?" Like, oh.
This is premium content right here.
I was like, what is?
Birthday
I was like, what is
the
she
birthday boy
doing?
put his motorized car in my hair while it was running.
That'll
Yeah.
do it. That
Oh,
will do it. That's the most parent thing I've ever seen in my life. Tip's got thick hair like I do.
Tiff's got that curly hair that'll
Yeah,
just
man.
capture it all.
Why I don't grow mine out anymore? What's up, Bert?
You say hi? Nothing. Nothing?
Yeah.
All right.
Ah,
You want to say hi?
I taken. Nope. She's like, I don't know who the hell that is.
All right, Bones. Christ.
All right. Back from technical difficulties. But yeah,
Yeah.
Transformers, Beast Wars, Transmetals. Yes, I got that name somewhere right in there. But
Yeah.
it's like one of the rarer N64 games out there. But it was also a Blockbuster exclusive, which is weird because you would think all Blockbuster exclusives were rare. But I think
Yeah.
Transmetals was maybe someplace else too. I'd have to check back. Like
wild.
Transmetals is like $80 game. You know, Play Fighters is like a $1,000 game. You know, it's just like
Wild.
there's quite the difference here. They're both real shitty games, both fighting games nonetheless.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Let's turn everything into a fighting game.
Yeah, excited about it.
Well, a while ago we talked about Hanna-Barbera with Warner Brothers and stuff like that. Well, they just released the trailer for Jellystone for HBO Max. It looks like they're going to be releasing a bunch of just cartoons featuring these guys, these old cartoons from the past. So that's I think it's exciting.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just talked about this not that long ago.
Yeah.
What they were gonna do with Hanna-Barbera stuff. Like it was time. So is it gonna be like a drawn together type of show? I mean, not the rated R part aspect of drawn together, but like just a bunch of different characters all in the same universe.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they're setting up is like Jellystone is like the place, but then we also have like, oh look, there's Yogi, but there's also Jabberjaw and Wally Gator and whoever else from this huge ass list of uh 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 cartoons. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it, but hopefully what they do along with this, so this way people can kind of familiarize themselves a bit more, is maybe add the old content to the streaming service, so that way people go back and watch the old
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, you're right. I mean, I couldn't imagine them not doing it, right?
I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. If you own the properties, why wouldn't you just have that as an extra, like, oh, here's this new show we have, watch that, but here's some older shows, so that way you can get to know these characters, because I don't know too many kids who are going to know that much about a Top Cat, like
Yeah. Snagglepuss. Are we even allowed to say that anymore?
I know.
Like
Such a
that
euphemism.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
It just sounds like a dirty word, Snagglepuss.
One of my favorite things that came out of these old shows was a show called Wacky Racers. I don't know if you ever watched it, but like it had like Dick Dastardly and Muttley and
Dick Dastardly.
but like it was just a racing, and then each episode is very animated, very fun, like who would win this course, and it's just
Dick
I don't know.
Dastardly.
That's just
Why? The creativeness in the early 1900s, mid 1900s, unparalleled.
alliteration was huge. You'd always have it like a da or a PP or a DD or a CC. It would always have to be like a name that was like,
Well, I mean, that was
Peter
like the Marvel
Parker.
thing, right? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
they were big for that.
yeah. Oh, kabong! I'm excited for it.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I didn't really grow up on much Hanna-Barbera, like short of what the Flintstones.
I mean, the
Was
early
the
days of
Jetsons Hanna-Barbera?
I don't know. It all feels like the same kind of era there, doesn't it? Like everything
Yeah,
was just
kind of.
anything before like Scooby Doo's all Hanna Barbera.
Yeah,
Cap Captain Caveman, Captain Caveman. Like I remember
yeah.
watching the
Produced
reruns on
by Hanna-Barbera.
Cartoon Network in the early days when they didn't have much material for Cartoon Networks. They used a lot of Hanna Barbera stuff, so it was like that's where I got to introduce
Yeah, I guess that's true.
into them. So
Yeah, yeah. Just throwing it out there. When was the Jetsons?
1959.
Close, 62.
Cool. But I don't know.
That's
It's
a lot
coming here
older
soon.
because I watched the Jetsons growing up.
Yeah.
30 years
And
after it was originally.
isn't that wild?
That's wild.
That's good longevity for a
And that
show, though.
cartoon was still good when I was a
Yeah.
kid, like
Yeah.
it was still watchable.
It's because by then the animation hadn't improved. TV animation hadn't improved to a degree. So it all looked the same, whether it was from the 50s or the 80s, it all still felt the same.
Yeah, it just got color at some point,
Yeah.
like because they probably saw in black and white in 62 and I saw it colorized in
Yeah.
94.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know,
Interesting.
man.
It's cool
Yeah.
that they're bringing it back in like an original form though. Like they're not just like, "Hey, we acquired the license, here's all the old shit." They're like, "No, we're going to use the license for something." So that's cool. I
Yeah.
respect that.
Let's check it out. Boo boo. July 29th. Let's get ourselves
Oh,
some
so
picnic
it's
baskets. Yeah, man. We're like less than a month or a month-ish.
yeah. That's cool.
Um, so we talked about, I think over the last few weeks, how Vampire the Masquerade was getting into the video game realm. Let's call it that
Yes.
realm work. Well, it turns out they're not stopping at just video games, my friend. They're doing movies and they're doing TV.
Hey,
The
that
world of apparently World of Darkness, which is kind of the overarching umbrella of this company, that has like Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, The Mage the Ascension, Orpheus, and Hunter the Reckoning. So all these different kind of RPGs that are happening, they're bringing to various mediums across the platform. So I'm interested to see what they do, especially with something like Werewolf the Apocalypse, because that's like big time werewolf stuff, and I like the werewolf stuff. We've seen
yeah.
vampires done to death, but werewolves, short of Underworld, we haven't seen much like cool action werewolf stuff. So I'd be interested
Damn,
to
it's
see what they
part
do.
of the Hunter Reckoning series? I did not realize. Oh, no. Oh, okay. World of Darkness covers all those RPGs. Hunter the Reckoning is actually a pretty good Xbox.
I mean,
what are vampires coming back? Did I miss him? Did I miss a memo?
it's the horror wave, man, as it does. Like it was zombies for the longest time, and I think vampires and the supernatural, like ghosts and possession and exorcisms, kind of took over that slot for a bit. And now I think we're starting to slowly get back into the vampire werewolf kind of stuff.
Huh. Interesting.
Waves.
Not from like I'm not a huge vampire fan, but I love anything that's in the universe. Like I like
Yeah.
vampires being in the universe, but I'm just not Plus, I fear Blade. Like Wesley Snipes is a dangerous man.
Yeah,
Anything
the
to stay
Daywalker.
off of his radar.
You've got to, because he'll slice and dice ya.
Give you that. Ching, ching, ching.
Chip, 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 chow. So yeah, look forward to some cool looking RPG stuff from some crazy supernatural stuff coming out.
If there's
soonish.
one thing, oh god,
No, you're good.
I said if there's one thing coming out of the pandemic, like D&D like blew back up, RPGs. There's a lot of great music coming out. Like people really had some time to be like, let's make some cool shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So hopefully coming out of all this, and we're gonna talk about some of the cool shit that like a lot of it got developed during the pandemic here in our nostalgia. But other than the fact that we lost an entire year of our lives and lived in fear and couldn't wipe our ass without, construction paper, maybe some good stuff comes out of it. I don't know. Here's hoping.
Here's hoping we get cool shit. I mean, especially with all the streaming services that popped up, it's like they need to have
They're like,
stuff to fill it. They're like,
how can we make people pay
you.
cable money without them having cable?
Yeah,
Here we
they
go.
figured it out.
I'm up to like $80 in subscriptions a month.
It's wild.
But when people are like, well, you could have just got cable, I'm like, bitch, I still have no commercials. No
Yeah,
commercials except on Amazon. Amazon, and the way Amazon does it is fine because they're like, oh, you want to watch something? Cool. You have Amazon Prime. Awesome. No commercials during what you're watching, but they'll like bust through an Amazon ad
oh
where
yeah,
they're only advertising themselves. It's not like
it's so
Gillette
weird.
Razor, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, hey, here's some other shit on Amazon. Welcome to your feature presentation, which,
Yeah,
kids don't know feature presentations.
oh, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good
Uh,
time.
yeah, kind of a news light week this week.
Yeah, I got one more for you. Just to kind of round it out. And this one's super just quick and simple. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 wraps filming. That's it. That's all I wanted to add.
Ooh,
Right
awesome.
there.
We getting a second one of those because the first one was good enough.
God, it was. We watched that the other day, my dude, and that thing is so much fun. Like it's such
Yeah,
a fun, lighthearted, like, yeah, there's some danger to it, and you feel like there are real stakes and all this stuff. But like at the end, we get a sneak peek into, Tails being a part of it. We we've already seen that Knuckles is going to be a part of it. We see that Robotnik is going to become the Eggman that we know. Like,
yeah,
the potential
yeah.
is so good.
I love the first one. Is it the best video game movie ever made? No. Was it a bad video game movie? Hell no.
No,
It was a
no,
great video game movie.
they
And
somehow pulled it off.
yeah, they somehow pulled it off. Like with some fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit style animation live action, which you would have
Yeah.
assumed just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, you would assume that it wouldn't work.
Huh. Yeah, I'm stoked for that. Give it to me.
Um,
We're almost back in theaters.
I know, like they've been pushing that hard now, where they've stopped really like they'll still do like, I mean, HBO still does what they do, and Disney still does what they do, but there really is a push for like no longer doing just digital releases. Now they're like, no, we have to get people back in theaters, and I think with Black Widow, we'll really see how many people are ready to get their asses back in the seats to be able to sit with other people and go, oh,
Um,
yeah, but
it feels we're getting close, man. It feels close. Like I'm
yeah,
seeing less and less masks every day. We went to a place over by the house. It's like one of those new like hipster pop-up mall things, where it's like they took an abandoned warehouse and they made a two-story with little shops and a beer hall and just some restaurants and shit. Cool place, super bougie and expensive, not my style, but the food was good and there was a bunch of beer there.
yeah,
Um, but packed. No,
oh yeah,
no 6 foot distancing. We went to a little bar that you pour your own drinks. Kind of cool, actually. This is actually kind of neat. So you walk in, and when you walk in, you walk straight up to the register, put your card in, and you add a tip. So put your card in, hit the 20% button, which in hindsight, probably too much of a tip because they're not doing anything.
they're not
Uh,
doing.
but so you sit down at a table or whatever, and it's pretty much buffet style. So they got a bunch of taps on the wall, like 8 different kinds of wine that come out of like a keg tap. And then, 30 different beers. And at the end, you can get like a whiskey drink, a Moscow Mule, or a margarita. And you pretty
Nice.
much walk up and grab a glass, and they've got like 6 different types of glasses that you could drink. You could drink wine out of a pint glass if you wanted to, but they got wine glasses if you want to be that person.
Fancy.
But yeah, it's cool because you like walk up and there's like a screen above the tap and it has a little slot and you slide your card in the slot You pull the tap and it judges and you pay by ounce. So like you could do half
Oh,
beer and pay like 250, like, oh, I want to try a little bit of margarita, and then I'm gonna go over here to the Coors Light that's 38 cents an ounce, and it's like $4 a beer because they had Coors Light on tap. Everything was local. But it was a real cool concept. And
that
then
is
at the
cool.
end, you just drop your card in a bucket, and then eventually they charge you, I think.
I think.
I don't
Hopefully.
know. Yeah, I have no idea because like the transaction was very minimal. But I still tipped him 20% on probably like a $20 tab. And looking back, I'm like, y'all don't deserve this. Like I just set my cups at the end of the table and I poured my own drinks. I did all my own things. But they do serve food there, so maybe at that point. Maybe next time I go back, it's 10%, 8% if I'm drinking. Because everyone deserves a tip.
Everybody deserves a tip. Huh, that sounds cool.
It was
That's
a
a
cool
really cool
concept.
concept.
It was a
Yeah.
cool concept.
You got to give it to people for being innovative, and that's a real
Yeah,
nice
how
way to
can we
be
do a
like,
little less work, but like it, make people feel like they're not working to do their own thing, Like, I'm like, oh, should I get to pour my own beer? Like,
"Oh, this is
awesome.
great."
And that fucking people, the owners are just like fucking idiots.
Fucking idiots.
We didn't even got to
They
pay
don't.
them waitress wage up in this bitch. The $3 that waiters and waitresses,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
They that's great.
Yeah.
Um I'm gonna do another podcast shout out. This one's called Ron Stant. It features Rhett and Link from Good
Okay.
Mythical Morning, and that's what kind of caught my ear about it because I watched them morning. I watch them in the mornings, getting ready for work or whatever the day. Um, I'll just read off their description because it's perfect. Ron Stant, starring Rhett and Link, is a supernatural noir comedy set on the mean streets of LA about a 911 phone jockey whose night job, along with self described Kraydar, leads him deep into Side B, a world filled with magic, monsters, and all things mythical.
Huh. That sounds good, actually.
It's super great. It's done by these guys called Q Code, and they're known for like doing the immersive sound stuff, which I'm really digging the folks who take their time to do really cool audio stuff when you're listening to your headphones or even in car speakers. It's a very cool story. It's just, it's basically you're following uh Rhett's character Ron Stant around, and it it's like a rabbit hole. Like once it starts going, it's like deeper and deeper and deeper. So check it
Huh.
out. It's on everything. Anywhere you listen to stuff is
The
there.
one we talked about, was it last week, 2
Yeah.
weeks ago? Last week?
Bad
Bad
vibes. Yeah.
Vibes? Yeah. Great. That one
Right.
turned out to be fantastic. Yeah. You
Yeah.
cannot, the 360 sound makes it very quiet. So it's definitely one of those like shows that is better with like over the ear
Mm-hmm.
or some sort of like, hey, you're just sitting on the couch doing nothing. Um, because it sounds like if there's a lot of noise, the way that they do the sound, the 360 sound and stuff, it just defeats the purpose if there's a bunch of noise outside of your head.
Yeah. Really
Um,
good stuff.
Speaking of nostalgia stuff, we're about to bring back one of the most nostalgic things that our podcast has ever seen. Um, Rick has down here and snuck in this week a who would win.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Bum, 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 bum.
This is like just who would win, right? Like that's how it works.
Yeah, we just get in there, we put up our contenders, and we discuss who we think would be the potential uh champion.
Victor.
What's your victor, Vector? Um this week, in celebration of the wrapping of Sonic 2 and the release of the brand new Mario Golf, which we'll get into a little later on, we have Miles Tails Prowler versus Yoshi the dinosaur.
I always knew his name was Miles, but why even give him a last name? Like the flying squirrel? What is he? Fox?
He's a fox.
Fox.
He's
Fox.
two-tailed fox.
Yes. Uh why isn't he last name?
It's just fun. Like it is. I mean, most characters in the Sonic universe actually have like full names, which is super crazy. Except for
Sonic's
Sonic.
full name?
Sonic's just Sonic the Hedgehog. He's just not a Sonic. He's just like Cher or Madonna.
Okay.
He's just running around
So
with...
right off the bat, our Venn diagram. Pros, get out the yellow legal pad. Tails can fly.
Tails can fly.
Okay. Does Tails, he does not have a maximum fly height, right? It's not like he can hover or glide. Like he can legitimately fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a legit, like, I get around by flying.
Okay. Yoshi. All right.
Yoshi.
Kind of a beta. Gets ridden. That's a con, I think. Maybe not to some people. But his tongue is wicked. Yoshi got real sexual real fast for me. His tongue is wild. All right, so
Yeah,
like
dude.
Tails got to watch that. Plus, he's got like a defense, because he can just bloop, I'm an egg now, like
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's right.
So like,
Yeah.
like he's more of, I don't know. This one's tough because again, Tails can fly, but Yoshi's kind of like, he's a little wild. Like he's semi-tamed, but if you like fall off him, he just takes off. Like, he doesn't listen,
Fuck you.
So he's kind of like a wild bronco of Yoshi. Dinosaur?
He's a dinosaur.
God damn it.
I mean, in the Mario universe, as much as dinosaurs are dinosaurs, because like he has a shell, right? No, he doesn't. Okay, I'm getting it confused with the
turtle.
No, he just
Turtles are dinosaurs like rectangles are square. Or square.
I got you. I got.
Yeah,
Well,
there
we'll go
was
with that logic.
there was something that worked in that. I don't know how much I fear Tails. Like I think like, you know what though, I will say Tails also kind of gets ridden.
He helps Sonic get to higher spaces. That was kind of his big thing, is that Sonic could hold on, and then Tails could propel him up to a bonus level or wherever, or places he couldn't reach. So they're both betas in that aspect.
Okay.
But Tails has intelligence because he is a tech wizard. He creates planes, gadgets, everything the freedom fighters need to fight robots.
So what you're saying here is we have like Tony Stark versus Godzilla. Like that's what's happening. Like at the end of the day, does Tony Stark beat the shit out of Godzilla? I don't think so. Yoshi, attack wise, also has like his little flutter kick thing, or his like little long jump shit, and plus he's got his tongue, and then he can lay eggs. He lays eggs.
The biggest thing Yoshi has going for him is he's a lot like Kirby, where he'll just eat a motherfucker and put him in an egg. Like,
yeah, he's like, he's like, now you're trapped, bitch.
Don't bend over when Yoshi's around, or else you'll get a surprise right in your...
That's true, right? He does do like some Kirby shit. And he's just like, yeah, I'm just going to eat you. He'll kick you in the face and then eat you and then poop you out into an egg. That's pretty disrespectful for someone who's super beta like Yoshi is.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, it all comes down, I don't know.
There's not a lot of violence in either one of these things, so it's hard to portray violence.
They're both secondary characters who are just like, hey, whatever you need, bro, I'm here for you. And then as soon as they're needed, they're like, all right, here we go. They're both transport carriers, secondary characters.
Yeah, but it almost seems like Tails is a voluntary, and where Yoshi just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and this stupid little Italian dude hops on his back. No offense to Italians. I was talking about Mario in general, not Italy or Italians at all. I'm gonna get us canceled. At some point, we're gonna have to fight someone, whether it be verbally or online bullying. There's a good chance that if it's gonna be one or the other, it's 100% gonna be me. Like I'm gonna get us canceled. Look, any press is good press, right?
I suppose. I suppose.
This one's weird because again, there's not a lot of violence, and Yoshi's a runner anyway. He might just be like, "Fuck this, I'm out." But he could also turn you into an egg.
There's no way he can outrun Tails. Tails can keep up with Sonic.
Yeah, which makes Sonic a little bit more.
Not full Sonic mode, but like
Oh
enough.
yeah, I guess
to,
that's.
like, I'm here for you, Sonic. Because remember, you do that in the games where you'd really get going through the level, like, tick, 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 and then like eventually Tails would be like, "Here I
Yes.
am, everybody.
Like, why are you
Yeah,
even still here?
it's fine. It's fine. You good?"
um, who would win? This one's. I didn't think I was
It
gonna have this much problems. I
it's really
just
like a like if Tails could keep him at a distance with using technology, right? He's using plunger guns or something.
that's what I'm thinking. Like Tails could, in theory, just build a gun.
Yeah, and then just like, wow.
Yoshi doesn't
But
really
if
stop a bullet, but also like Tails just seems like Tails is the vegan of this fight. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he just does not seem like a violent person. Whereas Yoshi's kind of one of those like sociopath persons where he just doesn't give enough away, but he's just wild enough to where like he might kick you in the face. He also just shit out an egg with somebody in it. Like we're not for sure. I don't think he's trying to kill them, but it's just inadvertent because they suffocate once they're in the egg, you know? But Yoshi just thinks he's like, yo, check out what I did. Like I just I just shit out an egg.
why
He
is there
doesn't
an egg
realize.
behind me?
Yeah,
How'd
it's
this
just
happen? Where'd this egg come from? Wouldn't it
yeah,
be
and
funny
then
if he
someone
had no idea?
yeah,
Like
he
every
was just like,
time,
"Bloop,"
like,
like what the fuck?
there's another goddamn egg behind me.
It's like what just like I just ate and I don't understand. Yeah,
Right.
I look on that argument alone, I think Tails just tries to talk down the fight, and Yoshi's just like bloop, like oh, and it's not necessarily like Yoshi's not trying to kill Tails. He just again happens to suffocate in the egg that he just
Right.
popped out of Yoshi's ass with or in, you know.
Like if you got eaten by Yoshi, like whether you stay alive or not and you're able to get out of the egg, one way or another, you'd be like, I'm good. I'm not messing with this little dinosaur.
Yeah, I don't.
I have seen his inside
Yeah, I don't want to
digestive
go
tract.
through this. Like his digestive tract is insane. It's
It's
like Mary
weird.
Poppins' bag in there. I went through fucking everything. Like, he just instantly shit me out, but I just saw my life flash forward before my eyes. Like what? Damn, Yoshi just eats Tails and just inadvertently murders him.
So Yoshi's only 4'7". I'm
Only
just
that's a
looking up.
5 foot tall like Velociraptor, dude. Like Velociraptors were 5 foot or something like that. 12. I don't know. They were
I
dangerous.
gotta see. Let me see. I'm just curious on like if they line up
Who
how
decides how big these?
it is a weird like.
Look, if you go off of like if Tails is about the same size as Sonic, and Sonic in the new movie is about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, Yoshi's fucking Tails up. Come on, internet,
Oh,
don't fail me now.
80 centimeters. What is that? And god damn it, why can't you just
How many centimeters an inch? 10? No, there's a
something
hundred.
like
There's 100 meters, and there's 100 centimeters in a meter. Okay, meters 3 feet ish. So yeah, he's small. Three and
we're
a half feet.
showing our ignorance by
Look, it's not my fault. America decided to
oh
stick with him.
yeah.
That's good math, right?
He's 30 about 32 inches.
No, that's money math.
Oh my gosh.
I'm good. I know how to. Come on, Europe, come at me.
That's a very tall at all, man. Not even
Just
3
because
feet
y'all's
tall. That's
system of measurement is smarter than ours doesn't mean ours is wrong. I can math.
I could math all right. That's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, Yoshi wins.
Yoshi, I think in that case, he's got the size and the durability and the power. If Tails could keep him at bay, that would work. But unfortunately, I don't think he would have the time to be able to construct something that would be able to defend against and
Yeah, I mean,
incapacitate Yoshi. So
he would
we'll
have
give
to
it to
bring a
Yoshi.
gun. But if
Yeah,
they're just hand-to-hand combat and not using their, maybe
I,
Tails is smart enough to just dip. He's like, "Nah, I've seen your work, dude. I'm good." And what's crazy is they're from two different systems, which is kind of cool.
yeah,
Like
you got your
Sonic being a Sega and being
Sega.
Nintendo. So you see how much money I made as a side character, bitch? I'm on the
Yeah.
cover. I guess so is
I got
Tails though. He's
Yeah,
on the
Yoshi
cover
got his
too.
own game though, where he had to freaking keep track of a baby. Like as wild as Yoshi is, like the fact that he was able to like escort a baby from like wherever to a castle or whatever he's supposed to
That's
take that
true. It
baby
does
Mario.
show some sort of
Like
intelligence.
he's like, all right, so he has enough to be like, I must take this to there. A Yoshi traveling at 80 miles per hour leaves the Mushroom Kingdom at 80 kilometers per minute. At what time does he reach this Rainbow Bridge?
Phew. You know what? I just said we could map, dude, and you fucked us there.
Put your answers on the Facebook fan page there if you figured out the equation. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have you on the podcast. So you figured out that quick. Speaking of Yoshi and things that he starred in, and more of a star character, as Rick alluded to a little earlier this week, for nostalgia, I want to talk about Mario Golf. Okay, Mario Golf Super Rush just dropped for the Switch on Friday 5th, and it is fantastic. Fantastic. I had heard rumors before I went and bought it. I pre-ordered it, went and picked it up on Friday or whatever after work. I had heard rumors that this was the best Mario sports game in a decade. Like, that was what was coming out. People were losing their minds over it. Even when I went to GameStop to pick up my copy, I was like, "How's it been today?" And they're like, "Honestly, like we haven't sold a game like this since Zelda." Like we, they were just like, "It is wild how popular it got so fast, and for a reason." We'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to go back because we haven't really gotten that many Mario Golf installments.
No.
And definitely not ones that were worthwhile. So before we can talk about Mario Golf, there was a Mario Golf before a lot of people realized Mario Golf was a thing. And that was the NES Open tournament. Not a lot of people have heard about this. Okay, we're gonna talk about it here. The NES Open is an NES game, of course, as the title states, where player one can play as Mario, player two, of course, as Luigi, where you have Princess Daisy and Princess Peach, both caddying for the said brothers. Um, Came out in '91 on the NES. It's an okay golf game for an NES golf game, especially if you don't want to play Black Label Golf for the NES. But oddly enough, this turned out 8 years later to be one of the best sports games ever released. And June 11th of '99, we got Mario Golf for the N64. They upped the characters on this, which was kind of cool. For the N64 version, you could play as Mario, Luigi, Wario, which was a kind of cool addition at that point. Yoshi and Princess Peach. So not horrible selection here, but they turned a sport that normally people just find boring into something that not only is it super simplistic and just about anyone can pick up, but it's got a pretty good skill curve considering,
Yeah.
and is an amazing party game, And I bring it back to something like Wii Bowling. Wii Bowling has a cadence where it's like, okay, you know when your next turn's gonna be. In Mario, especially on the 64, a four-person party game, you can play it where one person shoots at a time. Like, hey, oh cool, I'm fourth. Like, sweet, I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be back. It's got enough challenge and skill and a little bit of luck to where anyone could win a game. Like if someone's sitting down playing a bunch of it, it is what it is. But just a fantastic game that kind of came out of nowhere, especially for Mario delving into like a sports world. Because this is kind of our first big publication for Mario sports stuff that wasn't, NES, Super Nintendo era. This, we're not getting it from PlayStation. Came out, and this is deep into the N64's lifespan. Like 99, the N64 came out in 96, North America. So you were 3 years in for them to drop one of, the classic. It got a player's choice game a year later, as they all would. At the same time, they dropped Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color. Not as good. It came out 2 years later, but as you probably tell, like it is a Game Boy Color golf game. It played okay for what it was, especially for portable at the time. Um, but it was a port from the N64 game. It was what it was. Um, these first two games, and I'd have to double check on the 3DS one, but Mario Golf done by Camelot. They were the
Mhm.
original makers of it, publish or produce uh developers. Jesus.
Well,
Um, 4 years later, we get what may be one of the greatest sports games of all time given to it. Again, Nintendo with their 4-player awesomeness come out with Mario Golf Toadstool Tour for the
yeah.
Nintendo GameCube. This came out July 28th of 2003. It added a couple more playable characters. So, as with any progression in a game system, as we can add more people. So, you still get all the main people from the original Mario Golf game, but now they've added Koopa Troopa, Princess Daisy, Diddy Kong, Waluigi, Birdo, which was a crazy
Yeah.
situation, Bowser Jr., Boo, Shadow Mario, and Petey Piranha, which, again, Piranha Plant having a name is weird. Um, and just him being in anything is kind of weird. They even put him as a playable character in Smash Brothers, for the new Smash Brothers. But again, for
Really?
yes, you play as Piranha Plant. It's the last character I got during my Smash Brothers kick when it first dropped. Um,
Wow.
but this one upgraded some maps. It gave you more options as well as more playable characters. Fantastic. We still break this game out at parties and stuff, as well as Mario Tennis, which maybe we'll talk about at a different time. Mario Tennis not nearly as good. Mario Golf just is the epitome of a good sports party game. You can have 4 people playing it. Again, the skill on it is very lackluster, but you can get good at it if you play it enough. There is no doubt that there is definitely a skill curve, but still, the party game aspect
hmm
just of Nintendo in general was amazing. 4
Yeah.
players, like I said, on the GameCube. Um, they changed a couple things here, like they added some backspin stuff and made the ball control a little more, which again, when we talk about skill curve, is like a big thing for me because I have to want to be able to get better. If it's all the same every time, like you look at like an NBA Jam, where there
hmm
was skill with NBA Jam, but the skill curve was, what it was from a 4-button game or whatever, 3-button game on the Sega.
hmm
Um, Whereas Mario Golf is like between the slope of the green, the power, how you have to hit power shots, there's special shots, um, and basing everything off of the wind. There's so many little minute things that can cause a shift in your shot at any time. And it gave just enough RNG, especially in a party game if you're having a couple of drinks, doing your thing. It's like you could really fuck up your game on one shot, especially in some of the GameCube courses were like in wooded trees where you're like going from leaf to leaf up a tree. So like if you fall off the side of the fucking leaf, that's OB baby. Back to start. So it's just one of those things where like they they just perfected something that was already so good for the N64, adapted it to a newer console, added more stuff. Of course, the graphics look better, but it was still the same base game where it was still a party game. It was still a simple system, still 4 players. Fantastic. Uh, and then you've got these middle parts. They kind of
Yeah.
they kind of fell off. Before we get too far, played either one of these when you were growing up,
Uh,
when the N64 was big or GameCube?
we we definitely played the Mario Golf 64, Drew's console. Remember playing that one quite a bit, loving it because it was like you said, it's super simple, but like the more you play, the better you get.
And
And
it's
then
arcadey, so it's not so like,
yeah, it's
you know,
fun. It's
it's not
it's
a
definitely
simulation.
yeah.
And it's
You're
characters
not
that you love. So it's
yeah.
like even better. You're not playing with, at that point you'd be playing with fucking Shane Stewart or Singh or something in PGA Tour. I don't even know if they made PGA. I know I have PGA Tour golf for the Sega, but
And then
anyways, off track.
of course we played the GameCube one over at friends' places, playing that one. Like that's what they do well. That's what Nintendo does really well with like their sports stuff is that it's like let's take this thing, let's simplify it where it's that, but then we'll add things to it that if you want to delve into it, you can be better at this. just all the way around, these are great games. As for the handheld stuff, wouldn't touch them. Haven't really ever been a big handheld guy. Um, yeah.
No, me neither. Um, yeah, like I said, they kind of fall off here on this next one. They try to do something that I just don't know. I have never played through this game. I have played it in the past, but never had like a true blue experience. So my view on this is probably a little biased. Uh, a year after coming out with Toadstool Tour, they dropped Mario Golf: The Advanced Tour.
Hmm.
This one got a little weird because they almost made it a story-driven game, and which makes a little sense because of the fact that it's on handheld. Of course, you don't want to be passing your Game Boy Advance, especially before you had an SP. It wasn't even backlit still on that original Advance. So, but they made it like I said, more of a story-driven game to where it almost had some RPG elements to it. Which in a golf game, it's like create my character, cool, whatever. All right, not my Mario Golf. I really just don't think that you needed to, first of all, make this game. Yeah, Mario Golf for the Game Boy Color, that seems cool because again, it could be a single player game you could do. At this point in your stage where you have the GameCube out, I don't think you put out a Mario Golf game for the handheld at that point because you've cemented what the game is for with like the party pack 4-player situation. And I'm
Hmm.
sure that there was a way that you could hook it up to your GameCube. Well, I know there was a way you could hook up to your GameCube because they had a Game Boy player. But they also had the transfer cables and nice stuff. So, but you could also do it with the N64 with the transfer pack. And I'm sure that there was something I didn't really get into. Um, but again, for me, just not much of a handheld player.
It's wild. Some of the characters in this game, I just like these just plain vanilla Neil and Ella, and
Yes.
then these random ass like here's Joe and Putz. Don't forget Grace and Sherry. Like there's such like who are you? And why are you in this game? Give me the Marios, the Luigis, the Toadstool.
Yeah,
Don't give me
it's like
these
they almost didn't
random
get the
ass.
license for it. They just really wanted to go off the beaten path, you know? They're like,
That's
we can
wild.
make Mario Golfish. Um, this is where
Yeah,
it gets interesting because we have a 10-year gap between
that's
that one. So
wild.
no Mario Golf for the Wii, even though we got a Mario Super Sluggers for the Wii. No Mario Tennis for the Wii. Both games that you would expect
Yeah.
to get. Now, I don't know if they did that because of Wii Sports, or th- thousands of other shovelware games, because I think there's well over 1,000 games for, or 800 games maybe for the Wii and A set. Um, but we get another Mario Golf game 10 years later, May 1st, and that comes with Mario Golf World Tour. Now, this one kind of gets back to the roots of what we liked. Um, and this is where they introduced being able to play with Mii's, which for
Hmm.
anybody that knows is introduced with the Wii. You create a Mii character, your avatar for your Nintendo system. Still used today. Uh, this one was kind of a back. I did play this one quite a bit. I actually have it over there behind me. Um, and it's Mario Golf. It's at the end of the day, it's Mario Golf. And this is where we start to get online play, where Mario, you can do your Street Pass stuff, you can play with people close by. Um, and the career mode was a little bit better because, like we'll talk about in Super Rush here in just a second, you kind of create a character, and that character can level up and get more powerful to where like if you beat the game, quote unquote, beat the game, you have one of the most powerful characters in the game. So like you're gonna want to use your Mii more than like a Bowser or something. Where Bowser,
Sure.
yes, can hit far as fuck, they can't putt for shit, you know,
Mm.
or something along the lines of that. And you've got supers in this game as well, but again, it's one of those things where like when we're playing with our friends, especially with like Super Rush, we have to turn the Mii's off until everyone completes that character. Otherwise, like I'm gonna roast you because like the highest you can hit as a as a playable character is like 230, but my me can hit 238, like is his max.
Mm.
So real quick, you just learn so with the Mii's and stuff. So we ended up turning them off. But again, we get that May 1st, 2014. We get a Mario Golf. So at this point, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 golf games total for a franchise that it was pretty fucking popular. Not including NES Open Tournament because it's not technically a Mario. But
Did
5.
they always have the items? Is that new as of the World Tour, Mario Golf World Tour, the using the items in play, or is that something that's always been around? Because I don't recall those at all. There's like
No,
mushroom
so
makes the ball roll and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
so there's new stuff that they've added in this and in Mario. I think Super Rush has a new mode too, which kind of puts like weird items.
Sure.
I'm sure it's just like because like Super Rush has a battle mode, and I can't talk on the battle mode yet. And I think World Tour did too. So maybe it's
Mm,
part of the battle mode.
gotcha.
Um, Again, I'm not gonna be able to talk much on that because we just had enough fun playing 18 whole rounds of golf that we didn't really test out much of the other stuff except for the one major thing that I think is um or
Huh.
new-ish, or they used to have it but it was better. Uh but World Tour is good. Like if you have a 3DS, try World Tour.
Cool.
Now that brings me 7 years later. 7 years, another
That's
seven
wild.
years. So we're
That
past the
is
Wii U.
wild.
That means no Mario Golf for the Wii U. They got it for a handheld, but not the Wii U. Again, passed up two major systems well built on being able to do motion control stuff,
For
and using
sure.
the Wiimotes. It makes no sense to me. But this past Friday we dropped Mario Golf Super Rush. I was excited for this. I was really excited for Mario Golf because again, we still play Mario Golf at parties and get-togethers and stuff. It's a good quick thing to like throw $5 down on a game of Mario Golf. It's golden tea, but without having to have the golden tea. Um, Lucky for me, I've got quite a few friends that have Switches and quite a few friends that also got excited after not only hearing the reviews that people were dropping on this game, but watching some gameplay. I kept myself silent, radio silent. I didn't watch videos. I didn't look at shit. All right. But the Friday that it comes out, it starts popping up Instagram, Facebook, talking about it. You can see like they're like Polygon, best Mario game in decades, like Mario sports game in a decade. Like they're just dropping shit. They're like, yo, buy this. Even to the point where I go to GameStop to buy mine, and GameStop is like, we don't know what the fuck's going on. We're selling out of them. Like, thank God you pre-ordered. Like people are eating them alive. Right off the bat, just alone on the Switch, I played originally with mine docked. Um, the first 5 or 6 hours that I played docked with a Pro controller. I want to go ahead and get that out there. I did not play with Joy-Cons. I do have a Switch Pro controller. Yes, it's
Ooh.
gorgeous. It's much nicer. Um, so I have mine docked. You guys can watch it. I've streamed it. It looks fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
it just plain and simple just looks fantastic. They added more characters. You can play as Daisy, you can play as Rosalina, um, play as uh Bombs. I mean, there's a bunch of people. Um, but right off the bat, like I did not even check out the adventure mode. We just went straight into let's play some fucking golf. Didn't even know the buttons. We're figuring the buttons out as we go. Just right off the bat, you're just like, this is what I'm talking about. I will say we played online for, I've played online 3 days in a row now. No problems with the net code, no lag, no disconnects, no nothing.
Right.
Given, I will say, everyone that I'm playing with is within the Denver metro area. We're within state. We're on the same, Comcast internet in a sense. Maybe that plays it apart. The Switch is Wi-Fi. Like I do not have an adapter hooking up a LAN cable to this. It's not hardwired. I am completely playing over Wi-Fi. Played great. Great. Had no issues
Excellent.
all night. No problems. Um they added or reimagined, I think this is what was in World Tour was speed golf or a version of
Mm.
speed golf. So what this is you pretty much run to your ball. So you take your hit, and you fucking sprint to your ball.
That
You
was
can
wild.
you can smack other people as you like roll past. You have stamina and stuff, so you can only sprint super fast for so long. You get to your ball and you fucking whack it again, and it's like least strokes, least time to do the hole. It's kind of nuts. I'm not a huge fan of it,
Yeah,
but
I
it
could
is
tell.
very interesting. Um, it is very interesting. Again, something we did not know is the guy I played against the first round had played on his adventure, so he used his me and played speed golf already at this point. So he was a fuck ton faster than me,
Yeah,
and I was just frustrated
yeah.
because it was like, why just fucking give me my turn? Let me hit my ball, And now I'm rushing and stuff. But once we played it a little more, it definitely does give a very weird aspect to like straight Mario Golf, and I imagine people get really good at this.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Watching you guys play, it was fun watching. Like, clearly, you had just like picked it up and started playing, and like he had been playing for a bit because he was doing like the super boost or whatever.
Yeah,
I was just charging down the field, and you're
it's
like, "What the?"
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like running in quicksand, and this dude's fucking Usain Bolt like up the fairway 300 yards. And I'm just like, okay,
But but you still only lost by like a point, which I don't
yeah,
know if that says more about like the fact you knew how to
I
kind
love,
of work the game a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
or what. But
Again, we go back to Nintendo just being so great at attractiveness and ease. The game
yeah,
looks great, it plays very simple, but you play the adventure mode, you learn a lot of things. Like there's a lot of different things you can do. There's a club that allows you to skip balls across the water to
oh,
stay
that's
under
cool.
like low hanging stuff, like there's a way to, and this is where it gets cheap with the Mii's, but like the Mii character, once you have them leveled up, you get on your power meter, you get 4 tiers. And pretty much the way that you hit is you have your first fill up of the meter, and
Mm,
once it hits the top of the meter, you have an option to use A or B. A being top spin, B being backspin. And there's like a couple different options within that you can use, whether it be backspin, regular back. So that's your first meter. And then the meter is going to fill again from top to bottom. And so on my me meter, it's cut into 4 sections. And each section determines a section of flight that the ball is going to take. So I can essentially make my ball immediately go left, curve back right, go straight, go left in 4 different sections. So it gets real
that's
wild.
wild.
Like you
That
can
is wild.
steer, but it's real quick. You have to be on top of it or else you're gonna fucking shoot one super left or something. Um, but it definitely gives like a new aspect of the game to where it's like if you wanted to get into like a real windy match, put on the super fucking wind. You could do some funky things trying to fight the wind with the way that you can fight the ball. Um, so I forgot where I started with that. Anyways, the me characters are overpowered if you've completed your adventure. Not super long. I think I've got one course left to unlock. I think I have like 4 hours, 5 hours into the adventure. I've owned the game for 3 days. I'm probably 2 hours into the game or something. Yeah, I put some time into the game. Um, but unlocked courses for sure because they do not allow you to unlock them right off the bat. You're kind of stuck with 1, 2 courses, and they get better until the end course. The end course being a Bowser course, of course.
Of course.
A fucking shit ass course, dude. Like it's not fun. It's not fun to play at all. Um, but again, they have a battle version or a battle play, which I have not looked at whatsoever. I'm super interested. I should, in theory, have a video up on YouTube some point this week of the battle golf because I do want to get into it. Maybe I'll play with randoms. Or if you've bought Mario Golf Super Rush on your Nintendo Switch, DM me. Let's fucking get together. I'm 100% down to play with people.
Yeah.
I will say, man, I knew I was gonna like it, but it was better than I could have hoped for. Especially with the online play and just it just plays so goddamn good. Keeps my interest. It's hard enough, but easy enough to be like, I got a hole in one yesterday. Of course, I didn't get it on stream, but I banged a hole in one in speed golf, and it was like I started running, and then my ball was like, and I stopped running, and it was like hole in one. I was like, holy fucking shit, I did it! It's just like I I was excited to hit a hole in one at Mario Golf as I would be in real golf, even though I'm a million times more likely to hit one in Mario Golf than I am in real golf, especially because I don't play a lot of real golf. Um, but all in all, it was I cannot recommend it enough. Out of all the Switch games that I've bought in the last year and a half, the replay value, the way that this one played, and just the amount of fun and laughter and excitement I got out of it, I it's a 10 out of 10 game for the Switch. And I don't say that a lot because my Switch does not get the use that it should. But for the last 3 days, my Switch has got as much use out of it since Pokemon came out. You know, it was just one of those games, man. I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, it looks great. And looking at some of the character designs on the Wikipedia here, it is so fantastic that each character has like these custom golf looks to them. Like Wario and Waluigi are both wearing like cowboy hat kind of things,
Yeah,
and
they've
it
got
is
their
so
like
over the
stockings. Yeah.
ridiculous.
There's some like weird
Yeah,
stuff too.
it's
Like
so good.
Rosalina doesn't technically hit her own ball. Like her club just kind of floats there and she does like a
Yeah,
wavy thing and it's just like, oh, what cha cha, and so I don't know, maybe Rosalina cheats a little bit.
yeah. Where's the skill involved if you're not having to wield the club
Yeah, they do.
literally?
Because they do a lot of different things with like the career mode they do, and they kind of it's really cool because the career mode is really just a long tutorial because they
Sure.
make you try a speed golf to win a tournament to advance to the next thing. And then they find an excuse on why you can't play standard. So I have yet to play a regular round of standard golf. Like just straight, your turn, my turn. I've done speed golf. I've done a thing called cross country golf. Cross country golf, okay, is very interesting because cross country golf gives you this crazy, like multi-tiered golf course, okay? And it's like, here's 9 holes out of this 18-hole golf course. You can do the holes in any order you want, but anytime you make a hole, you're going to tee off from that green. So you have to like look at the map.
Wow.
It's under a time limit. You have to do it in a certain amount of shots. So like with the 9 hole, yeah, to 9 hole to progress to the next course, you have to make 9 holes with 40 shots or less. You can do it in however you want, in whatever order you want. They fucking get you, okay? Because the first
Wow.
time I did it, 41 shots.
Ah.
41 shots. Took me a half an hour to do it. I get to the end and I'm looking at 2 shots left, but I know I'm gonna have to make 2 shots, and I'm on my 40th. And I was
Mm.
just like, you motherfucker. Like I had to bang like a 60-foot, chip in to get it, and I didn't get it. So I had to read, and I was like, "Oh, I got it this time." And I had like 11 shots left or 9 shots left by the time I finished the second round because I like knew the path I wanted to take by the mistakes that I made the first time around. Um, Cross country golf was real weird, but I imagine they're just like they're like, you know how to play standard golf. We're gonna save that for the last. I
Yeah.
assume I'm gonna have a boss battle against Bowser at the end. I'll hopefully find out tonight. If not, I'll find out. Um, but again, I cannot recommend it enough. The online multiplayer is running fantastic. There's 1,000 different things you can do on the game. Plus, if you have other people, it's great. You can use the button controls, which is cool. So you can use the button controls on the Joy-Con, Pro Controller, GameCube if you have the GameCube wireless controller for it. Or you can take the Joy-Cons off and use motion control. I've heard the motion controls aren't horrible. Not for me. It's not why I bought my Switch. I probably will never try them. If you've tried them, let me know because I'm curious. Someone comes back and they tell me like, "Yo, this is actually kind of tight." Maybe I'll fuck with it on stream one day. We'll see. Um,
Cool.
but you have the option to do so if you want. You can play 2 people on a Switch, which is nice. You can pass the Switch back and forth, or each person can have a Joy-Con and you can play 2 at the same time if you want to fuck with some speed
Oh
golf.
wow.
So the
That's
multiplayer
cool.
options are abundant. The replay value I think is really good, especially if you have 4 controllers for your Switch. If people don't know, you can buy a GameCube hookup Switch that'll allow you to plug in 4 GameCube controllers to your Switch. I don't know if people know that, but you can do that just the same that you could do it with the Wii U. In fact, your Wii U GameCube hookup will work. They do that for Super Smash Brothers predominantly because people still use game. including me. But all in all, I loved it. Loved it. I've loved Mario Golf since the first one I played on the N64. They had some hiccups there in the middle with some of the handheld stuff. They're back to full true form of Mario Golf goodness in the Switch release. I highly suggest, if you guys can and have the power to buy it, because it is fantastic. Nintendo knocked it out of the park on this.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Like watching it get played and all that. It looks like the next progression in what is Mario Golf, as it should be.
Yes, it is what it needed to be what it needed to be, if that makes sense. And on that, unless you have anything else, we will start to wrap this up.
That's it for me, my friend.
Cool. So we'll lead this wrap up with a little bit of news. We do want to let you guys know, Rick and I have been working a lot on the back end of the podcast as far as being able to put out content, some extra stuff here and there. We're going to try to take the next step in doing so with a website, hopefully, is what our goal is. So we will be taking a 4th of July weekend off. I know it sucks. We just took breaks inadvertently a month or two ago. This one is planned. It's scheduled. We wanted to take it off. We want the time with the families, as well as just trying to pick up some stuff on the back end of the podcast. Just bring more stuff out to you guys. With that being said, with the week off, we are still going to put out the Retro Nom Nom videos on Tasty Tuesdays, I believe. Yep. Those will be out. I will have some streams up and going at some point this week, probably some more Mario Golf. Do not be surprised. We still do want to dive into Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. So maybe you'll see a live stream of that at some point this weekend. But again, we are going to take the week off, and hopefully when we come back that following week after 4th of July, we'll have some awesome new dope shit to tell you guys about. But yeah, wanted to get that out there. As far as this episode goes, we are finished. And that's the news that we wanted to give you. So as always, you can find me at Retronomipod, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook. Email we're going to pimp out. I think I'm going to change that soon. I know I've been saying that for a fucking month and a half, but eventually I will get to it. Yeah, that's where you can find me. Where they get you at?
Serial Killer on most of those socials.
Filter.
As always, go to the Facebook page. It's kind of your one-stop shop for now to get all news, all relevant information, just fun goof 'em ups that we do on there. Yeah, and to take us out like we always do with the weird question of the week. What do I do with my hands?
Oh, this is going to be fun one to answer. We appreciate you guys joining us this week on this episode of the Retronomipod. As always, we love you, and we will catch you next week.
Good night.